I think it's a fundamentally mentally unhealthy choice to start a company in a lot of ways. And I think it's important to own that decision, right? Because it's not a compulsory choice. It's a choice to do something that is unnatural. I think a good analogy would be having a child. You know, no one goes into the first 2 years of parenting and thinks, this is going to be good for my mental health. And you know, it's great for your long-term mental health, potentially, the meaning that comes from being a parent. But when you think about what you have to give and what you have to sacrifice of your own, let's just take sleep as a good example. It's hard to start a company and have a framework that you're going to be able to protect yourself from, if not the sleepless nights, it is a sacrifice. And then on behalf of my team members, I have the same conversation now, which is like, you don't have to do a startup. I definitely don't want you to write a book like mine. But it's just not, it's not awesome always. It takes a lot. And like, I'm here to help you find an amazing job somewhere that's not like this, because I know what those kind of environments are like, and let's figure that out. Those aren't easy conversations to have, and you know, I don't want it to be demoralizing, but I also don't think it has to be as bad as this. You know, I think it should be within reason. And I think within reason might entail the ramen and the car, and I think like the 16-hour day, right? Like I tell folks, don't lie and say you work 100 hours a week, you don't. But if you think it's 40 hours a week to do a startup as a founder or as a team member, it's probably not. It's probably higher. It's like 55, like if we just do the math, it's 55 or so, like at a minimum. And then it's gonna own a lot of your mind the rest of the time. And so you have to be in a place in your life where you say like, I'm prepared to make that choice. I go into this with the knowledge and be prepared to understand what those trade-offs are gonna be. And I have that right now with my son, where I'm like, do I, like, maybe I would sell this one earlier. None of my investors are here. But it's like, I'm gonna pick that. Like, if I'm starting to feel like it's off, I'm gonna make a move. And you're right, a lot of it comes from the privilege of the second time. Because I felt like the first time I didn't have that choice. Everything was staked on it, financially, team, ego, all of it.
But you do see currents, you know, and I don't know what they add up to, but you do see kind of currents in startup culture now that are, you know, whether it's people bragging about their sleep stack, or you know, I think that there's a couple of firms that, you know, part of their proposition is that they surround founders with like
getting better. I agree. I think hopefully it's going more to being like playing in the NBA, right? Where like it's very hard, but you have to sleep. Yeah. You know, you have to have a mental fitness regimen. You have to be conscious of that. You know, alcohol is a really good one, where when I was building Bonobos, it was sort of like you drink. Like I would always drink with my investors. Like there was a lot of drinking in the culture. And now it's like, I don't want to drink that much, you know? Like I had a family event this weekend with my in-laws, so I drank a lot. But now I'll be, you know, if I have a night where I have more than a few drinks, I tell myself I'm taking 40 days off to just prove to myself that I don't need it, and that's reasonably new. So we don't have to make it as hard as it used to be. And then I tell folks like, we need to offer ourselves reimbursement for therapy through our company's balance sheet. It's one of my favorite ones, which is like, mental health reimbursement is too low. We need to reimburse out-of-pocket expenses. As a founder, you probably need to be in therapy. It's even better than having an executive coach, which is, I don't put it in air quotes because executive coaches are amazing, but it's different than having a mental health professional. And so if you think, okay, the first 2 years of a company, out-of-pocket therapy is going to be another 150 a week. You do the math on that, it's probably like 10 grand over 2 years, if I did that right. That is a very good investment for the company, because a founder who is more interpersonally aware, who has someone who is in charge clinically of their mental health, it's just going to be a better company. And I didn't have that mindset at all.